Bezat Hashem, we're back over here in Limud in Ma'or Yitzchak in the morning after Shacharit. We have a beautiful breakfast, hot breakfast. Not some schools give you cold breakfast. Here's a hot breakfast, Baruch Hashem, at Ma'or Yitzchak Maple Ridge community. You come and enjoy, and we learn Musar, and then we learn Halacha. First we do Halachot Shabbat in English, and then if you speak Hebrew, we learn Shulchan Aruch Al Pi HaSeder. Not today, we learn in Hebrew, 9:15 every day. So today is, by the way, the 3rd of Kislev, which is the 4th day of the week of Parashat Shabbat Vayetzeh. So we said like this, the Mishnah Berurah continues in Siman Reish Mem Chet, where we said that Shulchan Aruch says you must go to a goy, the captain, and do something to make sure he stops on Shabbat. But the question is, let's say he doesn't. The captain tells you, I will not stop.
You're not responsible.
So he says like this, listen to, well, Hashem, he knows already everything.
No, you taught us that.
Well, let's see. No, before you get on the boat now. The question is, not that he doesn't stop where we're traveling. He promised you he will stop. You give him $500, you bribed him, and he said, and in the end he didn't want your $500. It's not worth it. So he's not stopping. Remember, but the rule is very simple.
You said it.
But the rule is, I said what?
You said it verbally. You told him, he said okay. So now
no,
that's his problem.
you made a deal with him before you boarded.
Exactly.
Before you took off.
Yeah.
But here we're now talking, we're going to ask a different question. What happens at the boarding? You call the captain over, and you tell him, I want you to stop on Shabbat. And he tells you, Mister, get off my boat. Ain't going to happen. What do you do then? What do you do then? Oh, that's going to be Mishnah Berurah's question. Let's see.
Wow.
Then imhu maflig me'erev Shabbat mikodem. Says Mishnah Berurah, first of all, here in Gimel, Sif Katan Gimel. So he says, it doesn't matter when you travel. Anytime you board the boat, you must, says Mishnah Berurah, lechatchila. From the beginning, you boarded on Sunday. You tell him on Sunday, by the way, Mr. Captain, I need you to stop over on Shabbat. Okay? It has to be done. It has to be done, says Mishnah Berurah. Kivan shehu toch shlosh yamim asmuchim leShabbat. Here he's telling you specifically. Okay, imu mavlig be'erev Shabbat Shabbat ben mikodem. Says it doesn't matter, right? Sorry, no. Kivan shehu toch shlosha yamim asmuchim leShabbat. Taz, sorry. The Taz says. Not necessarily before Shabbat, Erev Shabbat, even if you're going Thursday or even if you're going on Wednesday. Because within 3 days, you must direct the captain. You could talk to him about Shabbat. Sunday, Monday, you don't have to ask. But here, if you're traveling within the 3 days of Shabbat, you must ask the Taz. You must speak to him about it. Says, B'Sefer Olat Shabbat, Nistapek im Efshar lo lifsok. What happens, here's the question, this question. What happens if the captain tells you on Wednesday, when you boarded the boat, I'm not stopping for Shabbat? What do you do? So the guy tells, I'm not stopping on Shabbat. Now that I fulfilled Shulchan Aruch, right? Shulchan Aruch told me, if I didn't ask. What's the difference? The guy does whatever he wants for himself. He's not doing it for me. The boat is traveling. There's all the passengers are going, all the workers are going. What do I care? Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell policy. You know that policy? Maybe I'm patur and that's it. I didn't. But here he's telling me lechatchila he's not going to stop on Shabbat. Maybe I cause myself problems.
But you're asking the question.
Yeah. So he says like this. Maybe it is, now maybe you should get off the boat. It says like the following. והסכימו רוב האחרונים דהפסיקה היא רק למצווה בעלמא ואינה מעכבת. No. This whole psak of Maran Shulchan Aruch, most Acharonim agree that it's not an obligation that you must do, and if it's not, you get off the boat. It's just a mitzvah be'alma. It's a good thing to do. You tell the guy, please, if you could stop, stop. If not, not. It's not that you're obligating him to stop. It's not that you're obligated not to board on the boat because he's not going to stop. It's a good suggestion. They're telling us it's a suggestion matter. It's not an obligation. It's a suggestion. So again, if you're going to say, wait a minute.
אבל ההלכה אם הוא שד 3 ימים לפני, רק מהשד, אין לו בעיות בכלל.
No, it's not talking about בתוך 3 ימים. We're talking about it's within the 3 days. Yeah.
אז הוא חייב כאילו לדעת.
No, that's the question. Is it chova or not? So now, Mishnah Berurah says most poskim say it's not a chova. It's a nice thing to do.
In the 3 days.
Within the 3 days, if you travel.
Before the 3 days, no problem.
No problem at all. Don't ask anything.
Nothing.
Don't ask, don't tell. But within 3 days, even if you're got a negative response,
לי יש בעיה.
It's
עם
still-
one second, if you have a negative response, you could still go. But the whole thing was not to tell you to find out. You're not looking to find out what's going to happen.
You mention it.
You just were there for mitzvah. If, again, remember, the whole inyan of Shabbat is what about? It's all about me. How am I observing Shabbat?
שיהיה לי נחת, לא יהיה לי...
Right, not nachal. It's I have to be careful.
תענג על השם.
No,
תענוג,
forget,
תענוג,
that's one
תענוג.
thing. We said that all that. No, besides that, above that, I'm going to go above that. It's not about having pleasure on Shabbat. It's about me being constantly aware of Shabbat. That's the point over here. To be מחשוב, תחשוב כרמית על השבת. שיהיה לך ההבנה,
באונייה
שיהיה לך...
עכשיו, אתה לא בא, אני הולך ואני יוצא, אני עושה, איפה השבת?
That's
זה
right.
בעיה גדול.
Right.
זה
So,
למה אני רואה אנשים הולכים לבריכה לשבת, אין לי מה להגיד, אני אף פעם לא אגיד כלום.
Moshe, text
סליחה.
English because
Yes,
you're
yes,
saying good
yes,
things.
yes.
You're saying good things.
Sorry.
No, say it in
Sorry.
English
No.
because we have an audience
yes,
on
yes,
YouTube
yes.
and
It's
everything.
not sneered, you can say.
What, people going to the pool on Shabbat?
No, I'm
Yeah.
just saying, no,
First was not
there's no
sneered.
problem going to the pool. Like the same thing.
Not so much.
The only problem that you're doing, you're taking away the Shabbat away from the
very
charm
good.
of Shabbat. It's not the
Very
same
good.
Shabbat. That's
So
what
now,
it is.
Mishnah...
למה אם זה, if it is my תענוג ללכת לבריכה ושבת?
No, my ta'anug, one second, you can say my ta'anug to... Hello. This is... Okay, one second. My ta'anug, we don't...
For the purposes of mikveh.
No, okay, so that's a
This
different
one thing,
story.
yeah,
That's a different story.
You're going to the
Mikveh.
pool to have fun with your kids on
Right,
Shabbat.
okay, no.
It
So
becomes,
good. You cannot do things with ta'anug. We Jews, I don't know where this new concept that the whole world is spreading. Hey, it's my pleasure, so let me put pleasure on Shabbat. So once again, my pleasure is a...
אני רוצה לצאת לי-
excuse me, my pleasure is a nice blondie girl. So let me have
מה זה מצווה?
I don't-
אשתך
Oh, mitzvah, I want to have.
מצווה
of
את
course.
אשתך.
Do me a favor.
Make
Do me a
your wife
favor.
blonde, what's the problem?
Do me a favor. Stop it.
שבת
Yes.
is ביג מצווה.
Big problem.
טוב.
Big problem.
חולק עליך.
We don't do anything for pleasure. I don't know where this came from. Oh, if you pleasure, so having pleasure, so do. Pool, Habibi. To blow on pool on
אתה רוצה
Shabbat.
בלונד, תקבל, מה הבעיה?
Habibi, what's the pool? The pool is very simple. The heter is to take away the sweatness. Okay? To go there for pleasure and to do backflips and all those things. No, pool is not allowed for Shabbat. It's not a Shabbat thing.
אם זה בתוך
It's
הבית
not.
שלי,
It doesn't
שבת,
matter.
התענוג שלי, מה
It
הבעיה?
does. No, we don't do that. Can you do exercise on Shabbat?
לא, זה-
That's one second.
אתה קושי על עצמך.
I don't understand what you're saying. Because if you ask any physical therapist or physical
You do mikveh
gym,
Shabbat?
1 second. When you do gym, you sweat.
Of course.
On Shabbat, you're not allowed to do exercise. Swimming is the biggest exercise in the world. Do you know that? Swimming is better exercise than all the whole world. If you just swim every day, you go to swimming, you lose all the weight, your body gets stronger, and the whole thing. It's a shur on Shabbat. You're not allowed to do exercise on Shabbat. The whole heter of dipping in a mikveh or going into the pool on Shabbat is only, if you take all the poskim, they all talk about to dip yourself because of the heat, to remove the sweatness or something, just to dip. You can't be going to pool and enjoy yourself and swimming over there. That's for sure not allowed.
שלא גם צניעות, שיהיה צניעות גם.
Forget about sniut element. I'm not even going to go that far.
כן.
There's not people, you learn halachot properly and you'll find out. What is this? Oh, Rabbi, swimming is allowed, so let me swim. But exercise is not allowed, and that's what you're doing when you're swimming. Therefore, it's not allowed. If you're going for, like Zohar says, just for a dip, no problem. But again, the whole point over here is stressing in this Sif, Katan Gimel, the importance of Shabbat. Therefore, even though you're not obligated to get off the boat once he tells you he's not going to stop, but it's a good thing for you yourself, within your own heart and the Shema, to have this element of importance of Shabbat. So you approach him. That's what mitzvah means. But it's not le'akef. But it's not coming to tell you that if the captain says, if you're not stopping, you don't have to get off. However, listen to this Mishnah Ish Mazliach, number 5. Let's look inside Ish Mazliach. He has a red light here.
וכן פסק,
בחזון עובדיה, רב עובדיה,
בחר תקרא.
No, you read it.
יש שבת,
והקף החיים,
והקף החיים,
כתב,
כתב בשם האחרונים, שאין להתיר, אלא אם כן יש חשש
שיתבטל מן המצווה.
שיתבטל מן המצווה, על ידי זה...
So 1 second, Kaf HaChaim says deeper. No. Remember, when the Shulchan Aruch say you're allowed to go on the boat, Erev Shabbat, or within the 3 days, is when you're going for Dvar Mitzvah. Only when you're going for Dvar Mitzvah, it's allowed. So if the captain tells you that no, we're not going to stop, you're allowed to because
דבר מצווה?
because
להפריד את זה?
Dvar Mitzvah is that you're going to collect money for Almana.
שבויים.
Or collect money for Shvuim, collect money for Aniyim of Eretz Israel. Doesn't matter.
100%.
But Kaf HaChaim says that it has to be only because of that reason. Meaning, if you're not going to go on this boat, you're not going to fulfill the mitzvah, you're not going to raise money, that's the only reason you're allowed to go on the boat. Strictly. He's actually taking now, strictly speaking, meaning like this. So let's say you're going within 3 days, right? Within 3 days, there is no other way of travel. What are you going to do? All the boats leave on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They don't leave on Monday, let's say, right? So Rav Ovadia says you're allowed to go, right? But Kaf HaChaim says only if you cannot fulfill the mitzvah you could go. Okay?
בתנאי שלא יצטרך אחר כך לעשות חילול שבת וכן הפסק.
Once again, but the condition, even then, the condition has to be that you will not be caused to break Shabbat because of this travel. Habibi. What does that mean? What does that mean? It depends on the boat now. What happens? Some boats, they use the passengers many times.
כן.
Depends if there are not enough people.
טקסי.
If there's not enough people, right? He would actually force passengers to throw maybe coal into the fire. He will make passengers work. So he says like this, the Ish Mazliach adds that you're allowed to go within 3 days, even for the mitzvah, so long you're not going to have to break Shabbat. So it's going to depend. Understand that you were all in your mind cruises. Forget about cruises. In olden days, you had a boat of 5 men on the boat. So he says, if it's a 5-man boat where there is a big chance that you're going to be needed to perform tasks, let's say if there's a storm and all these things, so Ish Matzliach adds, you are not allowed to go on boat, this kind of boat.
Okay,
you cannot board.
small boats.
It's a small boat where there is a big chance that you're going to be turning into a sailor on Shabbat. That will be asur. If you're going on Sunday, it will be mutar. Why? Because it's not foreseen.
למה הוא צריך ללכת בוויקנד? צריך לנסוע ללכת...
Okay, מצווה.
יש הרבה
לדבר
אנשים
מצווה.
הולכים.
לדבר מצווה. Even he says לדבר מצווה.
דבר מצווה.
Yeah.
דבר מצווה מדבר.
דבר מצווה. Again, you're not allowed to go for pleasure on Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. We already said that.
Yes, Friday,
But
Thursday, and Wednesday.
Right.
3 days
דבר
before.
מצווה לחובה כאילו.
Right. It's not חובה. It's not more חובה. You're not
בן אדם
obligated
עכשיו שבויים.
Yeah, it's a mitzvah to redeem people who are captured.
שזה לא?
Yeah, of course it's a mitzvah. Yes, if you're osik in this mitzvah, you're allowed to make Halachot Shabbat. But you're not obligated. You're not obligated to say, I'm going to take all the prisoners. האם זה חובה? אמרת זה חובה. זה לא חובה, זה מצווה. זה מצווה to go free, but there are some חובות. Depends if it's his wife.
מי זה?
אשתו is a חובה to be redeeming. Certain elements there is a chova. That children, the parents might be obligated. Depends on certain situations. Okay, so that's okay. But he's saying like this. He's saying if the boat you're boarding is gonna cause you to be Chilul Shabbat, even for the one mitzvah you're not allowed to go. That's what Ish Matzliach wants to go. Right. But when you're allowed to,
זה חידוש.
right. But let's say you're going on Sunday. There's not necessarily you're going to be Chilul Shabbat.
לא יהיה.
Not necessarily, even if it's a small boat. But if it happens, then let's say if it's a big probability, let's say you sail on Sunday, and you know that it's going to take 30-day travel, and you know that there's many chances that there are going to be Chilul Shabbat. In that case, it's not a problem. Because first of all, anything that was done 3 days prior to Shabbat, as we said in Akdama, we said in the introduction, it's not the problem of the previous Shabbat, it's the problem of coming Shabbat, it's the problem of the previous Shabbat. As we know, the days are split, right? We know how it works. The first 3 days of the week it depends on the previous Shabbat.
Why?
That's the way of nature. That's
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
That's right. That's how it works. The Shabbat, the previous Shabbat influences the next 3 days, and then the next 3 days are from Wednesday. it's influencing by previous by coming Shabbat. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's so the Chachamim tell us everything you do on Wednesday is for Shabbat. Like today, we're learning right now, it's for Shabbat. And yesterday's learning was because we want to learn Torah. But anything you do today, right now, from Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, last night, Tuesday night, Yom Revi'i, Chamishi, Shishi, is a kulo l'Shabbat haba. So therefore, that going on a sfina that will cause you to be michalel that Shabbat is prohibited. It's all related.
Because it falls on
Right.
that 3 days.
That's right. But
And
if you
again,
go,
all this is for the. If you're doing personally, it's a problem. If you're doing for mitzvah, there's no problem.
no, it is a problem. He said. They said right now, Ish Mazliach telling you, if you know for sure that you're going to be mechalel Shabbat,
Special. No, okay. So
if
we
you're going to
spoke
be
about
mechalel
boats.
Shabbat in a boat,
Yeah, but we spoke about the boats that have 5 people on it. Not
nah,
a
that's
cruise
what we're
ship.
talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
that
not
would be
a cruise
asur.
ship.
That even for Dvar Mitzvah. That's what he's saying.
Okay, but a cruise ship now. Okay, forget about the small boat. We don't see that today. It can
Yeah.
happen, of course.
What do you mean? Fishing? People go on the fishing boats.
Yeah, but if
no,
you're
no
Shomech,
fishing.
you're not going to go on a
Can I tell
Friday.
you a little secret? I was learning about the Thanksgiving more, right? I went to just to make sure that I learned properly because everybody's being brainwashed about Thanksgiving. Everybody's going crazy. It's Avodah Zarah. It's not Avodah Zarah. Relax.
It's not Avodah Zarah.
No, the Rabbanim from Israel screaming about it. It's from Avodah Zarah. I said, Habibis, go learn the history. So I relearned the history. You know how big the boat was carrying 100 people.
ביום עצמאות זה עבודה זרה.
You know how big the boat was in the 1600s? The boat that came here, that the first settlers of the ones that settled in New York, the ones that actually built America. The whole Thanksgiving is about building America. If you're telling me this day, Thanksgiving Day, November time, the end of November is more important than the 4th of July, many times, manyfold, because that was the brinking point, that was a success point or not. So that the ferry that brought them, it was a Mayflower, I think, Mayflower boat. How many feet was it? 55 feet tall.
אני לא...
55 feet long. 55 feet long. This building is bigger than that.
מה זה?
The boat that brought for the first 110 passengers,
And where they came from?
this building is bigger than that boat.
Where they came from?
From England. They escaped from England.
And they're the one who started America?
Yeah.
קולומבו, לא?
Not Columbus. Because Columbus discovered it. But that's a different. 55 feet. Mayflower was 55 feet long.
Wow.
110 people.
הם לחמו פה...
You know, I go fishing on a boat. Today, average fishing boat is over 100 feet.
Yeah.
And believe you me, my children they throw up. The boat is like shake. Can you imagine 55 feet boat carrying 100 people? Mayflower. That's what they're celebrating.
קטן?
בטח שקטן. הבית הזה בדיוק יותר גדול ממנו.
זה שבת שלך לא יטענו.
בטח שלא, זה השאלה. על זה אנחנו מדברים.
זה בכלל לא. אם זה היום אוניות של היום...
The what?
Columbus came earlier.
Columbus was here 130 years before.
ב-1400.
1490.
So that should be even a bigger holiday.
No, that's not. No, that's not a holiday.
Jew.
That's not a holiday. It's all a lie. I mean, there were other people here already before, but whatever. That's not the point. The point is 1620s. That's when the Mayflower traveled.
He was a Jew, Rabbi. He was a Jew.
Yes, they discovered. They just now published.
Who? Columbus?
Columbus was a Jew. Yeah.
No.
Of course he was.
הרב שפיטו אמר אמריקה בשביל יהודים. הרב שפיטו אמר אמריקה בשביל יהודים. הספרד, גירוש ספרד באותו
Yes,
זמן.
all the גירוש ספרד.
גירוש ספרד, משהו היה, גילו את האמריקה, באו יהודים לפה. יהודים מצאו את זה, לא...
So, one second. What do you think? Excuse me. Who you think were the, by the way, pirates?
יהודים.
All Jews.
יהודים, פיירטס.
All
בית
the
קברות.
pirates. All pirates. 90% were Jews.
יש לך שם קדוש, שם אחד
Why?
לפיירטס קדוש.
Why? Because of the Spain Inquisition, they threw out all the Jews. So
דתיים.
the Jews,
מאוד.
of course, the Jews decided to take revenge on the Spaniards. Who was controlling the world then? Spaniards. England was not so much power anymore. Spaniards were controlling the seas.
הם היו הורגים, לוקחים את הדברים
Spaniards
שלהם,
were
את הזהב
controlling the
שלהם.
seas.
So pirates came around.
All pirates were Jewish rabbis.
No way.
Oh yeah.
מה זה, יש להם בית
Oh,
קברות
yeah.
שם?
זה למה אני
הקדוש.
זקן, עד עכשיו
They
אתה...
were all Jews, Habibi. Yeah.
וואו.
עם עין אחד.
Yeah?
Rabbi, it gets even more recorded than people say
But-
stupid things.
לא, לא,
Yeah, okay,
יש
it's
בית
the truth,
קברות,
it's
יש
the
בית
fact.
קברות. הרב
It's
סיפר
a
לי
fact.
את כל הזה.
The pirates was a revenge.
Google it.
The piracy was a revenge for what Spaniards did. It was all revenge. It can't be all the rabbis there, but there were a lot of rabbis there involved. A lot of rabbis involved. A lot. It was. I remember. It was a contraband.
Where's that brought down?
It's brought down. I remember. I don't remember exactly where it brought down. I remember learning from in history. That's the way it is.
So the pirates
It's
came
a
from
cover up. It's a what? But it's again. Listen.
No, where they come from? The pirates from not from America.
Spanish Jews.
That's where it came from.
Spanish Jews were pirates. They were taking revenge.
קדוש, כולם קדושים אתה.
Yeah.
מה אתה אומר?
חביבי.
זה בתוך האי של באיזה אי של הפיירטס, הנה כך. תראה מה כתוב פה, המצבה של הקדוש, הפיירטס, מה קרה לך? זה היהודים. היהודים, מה קרה לך? היו שודדים, היו לוקחים את הזהב של...
Again, don't forget, Spanish stole...
מגן דוד.
Yeah, of course.
מה זה? כן, הכל פיראטים פה.
Yeah, he's right now. Marquel googled somewhere and he found the whole city of pirates
Where?
graveyard.
That's in Spain?
כן, זה קדוש... מה זה היו? הבא לא נלך השם להורגו, היו מקיים את התורה, מה אתה מדבר?
One second. Remember, the gold belonged to us. Moshe, the pirates, where they were stealing?
Gold.
Whose gold? Ours. What's the point of
תראה מה אתה
Inquisition?
עומד בכסלו.
To get back what was ours.
The whole Inquisition, the whole point of it was to steal from the Jews.
הפיראטי.
Yes,
Remember,
yes.
anytime there was pogrom in Russia, anytime the king was going crazy, I know. Anytime, what happened?
בכסלו מן.
Okay, what was happening?
זה
חבר'ה.
פיראטים.
Okay, anyway, let's stop. Let's go weiter.
The
Dalet.
priest would come and say, "What happened? You guys owe so much money to the Jews." It's like,
Yeah.
steal the Jews, and that's it.
That's right. The entire Europe was based on one thing. The Jews were the only business the Jews were allowed to do mostly was to do loans, money loans, and take interest. And the Christians made up this idea that you cannot take interest from people, and that was the justification for murdering the Jews, Inquisition and all the pogroms in Russia. Okay. Anyway, so the Jews were taking it back. I mean, what do you want? The whole America was based on this money. The whole America was supplied with this money.
I know, that's
Yeah.
interesting, man.
Yeah, that's why America is very welcoming to the Jews. We have shuls here from 1600s. You know that? Okay, let's go.
פרץ.
Yes,
יש בשביל פרץ.
Okay, Markel, that's it. Thank you for your investigation.
לא ידעתי זה יהודים, אני
Okay.
הפרדניקים היו...
No, look, even Zohar got scared that people are gonna say, "Oh, look at this Jews pirates." Don't worry about it. אין מפליגין, הרשות, however, said Shulchan Aruch, let's do this, let's do halacha. However, Shulchan Aruch added, if you see second line Shulchan Aruch, אבל לדבר הרשות, Shulchan Aruch says, however, if we're going for something that's not a mitzvah, אין מפליגין בספינה פחות משלושה ימים קודם בשבת. If it's for mundane reasons, for purpose of enjoyment, you're prohibited to travel on a boat less than 3 days before Shabbat. Says Mishnah Berurah, what does that mean? פחות משלושה ימים, סעיף קטן ד' דהיינו ביום רביעי, בשבת אסור. You know, it's not like me. I said on Wednesday will be allowed. The Mishnah Berurah says on Wednesday it's prohibited to travel.
Oh, wow.
In the name of Magen Avraham, בשם הרבה אחרונים, and most of them agree that Wednesday is not 3 days. How do we count 3 days? We count Shabbat, minus Friday, and minus Thursday. So Wednesday you're not allowed to travel. Start the travel. Aval Agra, however, the Gaon people, that's going to be Magen Avraham and most Achronim. However, says the Mishnah Berurah, Aval Agra evi b'shem arbe rishonim, da shlosha yamim nechshavim im Shabbat gufa, u'biyom revi'i mutar. The Gaon Vilna says, no, when we say in halacha, according to most rishonim, he brings you rishonim, not Achronim, Achronim say 3 days including the Shabbat. The Rishonim, says the Gaon Vilna, it's including Wednesday and not including Shabbat. So the Shabbat will be the 4th day. So meaning 3 full days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is, what's his name?
So from Wednesday morning you can travel.
No, one second. פחות משלושה ימים, דהיינו ביום רביעי בשבת אסור. Oh, sorry. Yeah. According to most Achronim, you are counting 3 days, not including Shabbat, meaning it's a strictness. I made a mistake. Wednesday will be asur to start. Tuesday will be mutar. Okay? Wednesday, Gaon Mivuna says, no, 3 days including Shabbat. Go back Shabbat, Friday, Thursday. So Wednesday you will be allowed to start the traveling because it's not part of the 3 days. Let's say you're going for pleasure. You're going on a cruise, Wednesday, no problem, go. Says Gaon Mivuna, you could go. The Achronim were saying, no, you cannot go already Wednesday because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the 3 days. Shabbat is not included. Gaon Mivuna says the Shabbat is included in this calculation. I made a mistake. Ubiyorim Mutar says that's Gaon Mivuna. Says Ish Mazliach. So now this is Berurah Hashem Machloket in the Mishnah Berurah. He does us always a favor, brings us Machloket. So we could wake up and say, there's not a smaller coffee here. It's not so easy. Let's see what the Chachamim Sephardim say. What's inside? Number 6. Number 6 is Ish Mazliach. V'chen pasku b'chazon Avadia. Rav Avadia says, like Gaon Mivilna. He says that you are allowed to travel on Wednesday. Because Shabbat is the 3rd day. That's what we're talking about. וכן פסק רב עובדיה, בחוזן עובדיה.
זה הלכה כבר.
Okay, that's הלכה of Rav Avadia. Yeah? Again, so there is a machloket between says the Mishnah Berurah, most Achronim say you cannot start travel on Wednesday because the 3 days includes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Gaon Mivilna says in the name of Rishonim, he says, no, what are you talking about? Where did they come up with these numbers? It's not including Shabbat, Wednesday. It's including Shabbat, the 3 days. We're talking about specifically not the Dvar Mitzvah right now. We're speaking about just for pleasure. Okay, you're going for pleasure or for business, whatever it is. So says Gaon Mivilna, Wednesday, it's not included in the 3 days. The 3 days is Thursday, Friday, Shabbat. So Rav Avadia rules like this, Gaon Mivilna and Rishonim. However, let's see, Kafachaim.
But this is if we know that we're going to be traveling on Shabbat?
Yeah, for sure, of course. Yes, you're going from Israel to New York. It used to take 30 days in the boat.
לא, 30 יום מפה עד ניו יורק?
מניו יורק, from Israel אמרתי, מה קרה לך? מה קרה לך?
אמרתי לי מפה עד ניו יורק.
מפה עד ניו יורק זה 7 ימים בבוט.
בבוט 7 ימים?
כמה ימים?
מה קרה לך? יומיים. באוטו, כמה אתה נוסע באוטו? אתה נוסע 70-80 מייל? כמה זה לא מגיע?
כן, הבוט doesn't go so.
הבוט מרביץ 150 מייל, מה אתה מדבר?
One second, Zohar, what do you say?
בוט, כמה נוסע?
Hey Siri.
Boat is about 6-7 days, I remember.
How far is it?
לא, אתה נוסע בבוט.
6 days in the boat.
60 מייל אתה נוסע לשעה?
New York.
60 מייל?
בשפשונת.
Miami by boat.
מה קרה לך? What's 60 miles per hour?
נסעתי פה בבוט, שם 100 מייל.
מה זה ג'טסקי זה 50 מייל. ג'טסקי.
How many miles?
מה קרה לך?
Miles.
Boat is traveling maybe 15-20 miles per hour.
And travel by boat.
telling you.
How far is it in hourly?
Boat don't travel 60 miles per hour. Are you kidding me?
Looks like Miami Gardens, Florida, is about 11 miles away by car.
לא.
No, take a boat to New York City from.
That's what I said too, but you're talking, so it's
Okay, no, let's see.
Hey Siri, taking a boat from New York City to Miami, how long does it take for the traveling? How many days, hours? Give me details.
I found this on the web.
You got it? Okay, while you do research, let's continue. It says number 6 over here. למעלה מעשרה וגם ודווקא so כף החיים, look inside כף החיים, חבר'ה. וכף החיים כתב דלכתחילה איך עד אפשר יש להיזהר שלא להפליג ביום רביעי. כף החיים is not agreeing with Rav Avadia does not agree with כף החיים. No, כף החיים says if possible don't start traveling on Wednesday. Don't do it.
הבוכרים עושים כמו כף החיים.
ואיך עד לא אפשר יש להקל. But he adds, if it's not possible, you could go. Listen, the cruises are Wednesday. Cruises on Wednesday cost $1,500. Cruise on Tuesday costs $2,500. Why should I spend another $1,000?
No.
So it's not what's the name. It says Kapachayim take the Wednesday cruise, no problem. ודווקא במפליג ביום שוודאי הספינה הולכת למעלה מעשרה. It's talking about for sure you're going to travel for 10 days. For sure you need a 10 days travel. וגם בוודאי שלא יצטרך לעשות איסור בשבת. What's the problem? What's the problem? What happens if it's shorter? We're afraid if you're going to stop on Shabbat, when the boat lands at the destination on Shabbat, what are you going to do? Moshe, We spoke about this yesterday. If the boat lands on the island that you need to get off on Shabbat, what are you supposed to do?
When the boat lands on Shabbat,
You're not allowed to get off the boat.
Yes.
It's asur.
yes.
That's right. So that's the problem. Another problem. You have to be very cautious. When you book your flight, book your travel on a boat, make sure that you're not
You don't
going
get
to
off
get
the
to your
boat.
destination on Shabbat also.
But even if you get to the destination, you don't get off the boat.
Habibi, it's not so pashut. What are you talking about? Which boat captain is going to let you stay there?
You just don't sit. Some people stay.
Again, so that's the condition you made with the boat captain. No
Yeah.
problem. We have food for Shabbat.
I know
you
one person who did that.
That what?
He went on a cruise with his family. Everybody went off the boat, and he said, "No, I'm keeping Shabbat." He stayed on the boat.
Oh, very nice. And
Yeah.
what? How much police was summoned and what?
Nothing happened. He was very relaxed. He said that he was in the boat. He stayed the whole Shabbat,
זה
and
גדול,
that's it.
זה ענק.
I stay in my room. I
let
stay
me
in my
ask you-
room. What's the
Let
problem?
me ask you a different, better question. What happens if, let's say, they landed on
What do you mean? That's
Shabbat?
on every cruise.
Hold on a second. 1 second. They landed on Friday night, 10 p.m.
יכול להוציא אותך.
And at 4 p.m. tomorrow, they're traveling to a different country. What are you going to do?
Repeat that again.
10 o'clock at night, they came in Friday. You can't get out of the boat. Right.
Okay.
So now the crew, tomorrow at 4 p.m., going to Bahamas.
אין לך בעיות, כי זה בית מלון שם.
Okay.
זה בית
So what do
מלון.
you do?
You stay on the boat.
לא,
You
זה
go to
בית
Bahamas
מלון.
with them?
לא, זה בית מלון אבל.
But you say
החול זה בית מלון.
if you travel at Friday on the boat,
No. You went 10 days earlier. Now the
Okay.
boat somehow delayed, they came back Friday, 10 p.m. Right? Shabbat.
מבלבל אותך.
You cannot get off the boat.
you got back to your destination.
Yeah, your
Oh,
destination.
you got a problem there.
Right. And then tomorrow at 4 p.m. they're traveling to Bahamas for another 10-day trip. What are you going to do?
מההתחלה הוא עושה.
I continue my trip for another 10 days. No, I'm joking.
okay.
I know it's going to be very hard to. I
Yes.
mean, it's
לא,
So,
לא, זה לא כזה, גם לא
the
יודע
Imlo
מה
can,
הם-
listen to this.
They
Says
have one
Kabachan,
program.
איש
יש
מצליח,
program,
חביבי.
שבוע ימים.
usually in the boats they're good on
יש
time.
לך- יש לך
מלכד,
program שם.
בוא, let's say.
אתה אומר דברים סתם מהראש שלך.
Of
וזה
course,
לא-
of course. I'm just giving you all the scenarios. My trouble.
It's okay.
You're
It's good.
supposed to arrive what time? When?
Well, you're supposed to arrive 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning Friday. They arrive 10 p.m. Friday. What are you going to do? He says over here they're going to let you stay overnight. I understand. What about tomorrow if they have to travel back at 4 p.m.? I'm the troublemaker here. What do you think I do here? That's what I do. I'm making trouble in your mind all the time to make sure that you're going to think of every scenario, because what you do in business, you think of every scenario to make a few dollars in your mind, in your pocket. I'm going to think of every scenario of trouble so you know how to stay away from trouble. You understand? That's my job. That's what I get paid all these big bucks for. What are you talking about? Okay, here.
לא מגן לי כלום אתה.
The Imlo Ken says, listen to this. Ish Mazliach continues. If not so, לכולי עלמא אין להפליג אלא דווקא קודם יום רביעי. He says, if you're not guaranteed that you're not going to be Michalel Shabbat in the future on this boat, you're not guaranteed. Like, let's say, like Moshe says, today everything is punctual. But let's say there is a safek, maybe you're going to land on
המנוע
Shabbat.
נתקע. למה-
Says
למה-
Kapachayim, you cannot get on that boat.
מה זה?
On
Yeah, but
Wednesday.
how would you know?
That's right. If it's no guarantee,
But you don't know.
No.
Ah, yeah, okay. If no guarantee. Of course.
again, 1 second. If you have a schedule, if
Yeah.
they get over the schedule, of course, there is no guarantees in the world.
Yeah.
But like you said, most of the things are all proper, not a problem. He says if there is a chance, that somewhat chance, you know in advance, not something happened by mistake. There is a chance in advance. They tell you that this is the scenario. There is a chance of this boat coming back to your destination, not Friday 6:30 p.m. morning.
That's
It's
the
going to come
problem,
back.
of course, yes.
So in that case, it says you're allowed to you're allowed to board that boat Tuesday. If there is a chance that it's even going to stop on Shabbat, you're allowed to go there before.
So if
Before
you
Yom
know
Revi'i.
there's going to be a problem, but
Before
you
Yom
go before.
Revi'i, right. If you go before Yom Revi'i, we already said it's not a problem. Even if your guy tells you, not a problem. You don't have to ask anything when you go on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on the boat. You don't have to ask anything.
But you don't get off the boat on Shabbat.
For sure, on Shabbat you're stuck. So if they'll take you to Bahamas, you know what they say? They'll come to you and they say, listen, we charge you X, Y, and Z. What does the Torah say about Chilul Shabbos? Spend all your money, we don't care, but don't be Mechalel Shabbat. That's what it means in the Torah when you say, Ubechol meodecha, you love Hashem with all your possessions. What does that mean? Even if you need to be Mechalel, to lose a lot of money, but you're not Mechalel Shabbat, even for a second. Baruch Adonai Olam Rabbeinu Amen. Whoever needs to go to make
So I have a
Matzah.
question for you. So when you're on the boat right now, you have
Yes.
those electric doors, and you have people cross. As long as the goyim are going through at the same time, because the majority of the goyim is there, you could use that.
Only if the goy goes in front of you, opens the electric
Yes,
door.
of course, of course, of
Otherwise, no.
Okay,
You
of
cannot
course.
cause the electrical door.
No, of course
But whoever needs to go make parnasah with ease, without any problems, without any tzarot, only in good health and in good environment.
I will see you Friday, Rabbi.